はい、始まりました。大丈夫ですか？みんな聞こえておりますでしょうか？ BGM 大きすぎるんじゃないでしょうか？ちょっと大きい。ちょっと下げて。はい。これが大丈夫かな？はい、始めたいと思います。皆さん、こんきびです。花持ちきびです。今日は、なんと、アニメの、雑談をしたいと思います。I feel like I'm asked a lot recently about anime, which is a really cool thing, because I've always wanted to do anime-related talking. I always enjoy talking about anime. So yeah, gonna make that a reality today. As you can see, I'm gonna look at spring 2024. We're gonna look at, so in the first one, we looked at all of the winter anime. And then what I was gonna watch in spring 2024. So today, we're gonna be looking at spring 2024, and then like, what did I think about it? And then we're gonna be looking at summer 2025. So we'll see how that goes. I don't put that much thought into this because to me it's pretty simple. Frankly, a lot of it is for me because I need to update my anime list and what I watched, and why not do it on stream? Especially because I'm always asked about like what anime do I recommend, what anime do I like. So I'm looking forward to today. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. So on that note, I'm just gonna go through it. If people join and then start talking about, oh, I'm gonna tweet. If people join and then start asking me what I thought about last season, feel free. That's what today is about. But yeah, today is a simple my anime list update before I go to Anime Expo tomorrow. It's gonna be right on time. I was considering doing it afterward, but felt kind of weird. And then like a bunch of stuff would have already began. This is supposed to be my first impressions and last impressions, so, or last impressions and first impressions. So keep that in mind as I review the season. Really looking forward to it. So last season, I guess in a little bit of an update, last season we had some good stuff. I haven't watched this yet, but there's a lot. Okay, so last season we had Bokuyaba season 2. We had a lot of stuff, a lot of different good stuff. But most importantly, last season we had a lot of carryover from the previous season. We had, most importantly, Freeren and Apothecary Diaries. Also, not to be forgotten was Shangri-La. So this season, we lost a lot of those, and we got some sequels, but most of them are not going to be continuing. So let's take a look. Starting with Kimetsu no Yaiba, Demon Slayer. I get asked about Demon Slayer a lot. Still haven't watched it. It's interesting. It's 8 episodes by 31 instead of 12 by 23. But I'm not caught up. So if you're curious about how I think about Demon Slayer, I enjoyed the first season. Watched all the first season, and then the movie came out. And I didn't go see the movie, and forgot about it. And then when season 2 came out, I was like, I can't watch it starting with season 2 because I don't know what happened in the movie. So this had to be put on hold. What do I think about Demon Slayer as a whole? Maybe a bit overrated, but good. I have nothing against it. So yeah. Unfortunately, I can't rate things that I did not watch, so we're gonna be moving on to kind of the next bit, or one of the big sequels coming up this last season was Konosuba season 3. I like Konosuba. I also think it's kind of overrated. Here, I wonder what I put for Konosuba seasons 1 and 2. I think it's a little overrated in that there's a lot of anime I like more than Konosuba, but Konosuba's good. My friend Dave really likes Konosuba, so I have nothing against it. But I don't think it's like one of the best I don't think it's one of the best comedy anime or something like that. I do think that it gets a lot of, maybe a little overrated. That's all I want to say. But it's good. We're going to be moving this to season 6. So I talk with Dave about Konosuba reasonably frequently. there's some spoiler stuff that I did kind of dislike about Konosuba. I thought that maybe Kazuma wasn't as shrewd as he normally was. That was my impression. Like, I feel like Kazuma's supposed to be like... One of the things that people really liked about Konosuba when it came out is that Kazuma is refreshingly selfish. Like, he is a refreshingly bad person. Being like, a lot of main characters have like the hero streak of like, they want to help people and all that. Kazuma is like refreshingly selfish and hurtful to other people. And I feel like he wasn't as Kuzuma as he normally is. I don't mean that in terms of the party. I just mean like he seemed awfully not driven by money, which was a weird thing. I thought that maybe that was inaccurate. I kind of feel that he's supposed to be a little bit more selfish, take advantage of people a little bit more than he did in this season. But I did enjoy this season. Just like all the other ones. To me, it was not special, though. It just was fine. It was good. It was good as normal. It didn't really do anything for me. Plus, my favorite character is Megumin, so she didn't have a lot of main time. Without trying to spoil it too much, the focus was Lalatina, and that was maybe not so focused for me, but it's still good. When Konosuba season 3 or season 4 comes out, I will be definitely watching it. Nothing wrong with it. If you like silly comedies, Konosuba will always be your thing. So, did I finish? Yeah, I did. Okay. So moving on, Kaiju 8. I did not watch Kaiju 8. So maybe I will. Who knows? I know it was hyped a lot, Kaiju 8. And I used it a lot for my Wordles because 8 is a 5-letter word, which was very convenient for me. But I haven't gotten around to it. It's just maybe one of those anime that I wasn't super motivated to watch. Because, like, between action and sci-fi, nothing really struck with me, but it does look polished, so I don't have a problem with watching it. If in the future I'm curious what to watch, I'll consider this one. Production IG is pretty solid, so. Unfortunately, once again, I cannot talk about anime that I did not watch, so we're going to be moving on. So, ooh, the next 3 are some pretty big sequels coming up, but Mushoku Tensei. What is there to say about Mushoku Tensei? Then it was definitely one of the anime that I was looking forward to every week. I like Mushoku Tensei. I think that there are elements to it that I'm not convinced by. But it's good. I enjoy a lot of, you know, I like the heroines. I like the story progression. I was really worried going into this season how it would pan out because of what happened in last season, or not last season, but I really liked Mushoku Tensei 2 Part 1. And I was really worried that unsavory things would go on. But I think they were pretty tasteful about how they did this arc. And I think it was well written. So I really like this. Now, I'm going to be a bit concerned with what happens in the next seasons, because this is going to be a long-going project. This has always been the MO of Mushoku Tensei. It's going to be a long project. It's going to be, they just got done with the first 2 long arcs in 4 seasons. There's another really long arc to follow. I know that they didn't just abandon one of the heroines, so she's gonna have to come back. And how are we gonna forgive her? Who knows? But I was really happy with this. Can I get into spoilers? I really want to get into spoilers. Okay. Mute this part for like a little bit if you haven't watched it. I'm gonna still try not to spoil stuff, but it might spoil some. I always thought the Hitogami was like a little more right, but frankly, I think the Hitogami was wrong in this case. I know that Rudius had to see some stuff that he might not have wanted to see, but I think he made the right decision. In the end, the trade we made, because if he didn't go, then we would have basically, I'm trying not to spoil, but we basically would have got to keep one character at the cost of another. And I think the character he chose to save was the better one. So I'm not sure how that's going to go, but I am looking forward to the Mushoku Tensei 3 Part 1 and beyond. I really like this anime. I gotta admit, like, I enjoy Mushoku Tensei a lot. I don't know if that's an... Mushoku Tensei is pretty polarizing as an anime. I always kind of compare it to Eminence in the Shadow. Not like they're similar shows, but like people either really like it or really hate it. So yeah. The next anime is one that I actually think is the opposite. People just kind of all universally just are on. I guess some people really like Tensura. I used to really hate Tensura. I remember watching the first season and I thought this anime was so cliche and boring because it's like, haha. Can I talk about like when Tensura first came out? Not this season, but like this is a long time ago and it's literally the first episode. So I'll say this. I watched the first episode. The first things that we're greeted by is Tsundere Dragon and Delete My Hard Drive. I think those are both not just bad jokes, but like really cliche. So I was not a fan of it. Over time, I've gotten over that like dislike of the cliches. I'm not convinced it's good. Oh, did I say? Oh, I completed this. I'm not gonna say it's good, but I definitely enjoy watching it week to week more now. So, I'm not gonna say anything bad about it. Plus, I think with this score, it's a little more indicative of what the actual like feelings are. I just tend to think that it's overrated because like Tensura season 1 is like 8.5. I'm like, what? Could not believe it. I think this is a more indicative. I know people didn't like the... Oh, it's still going on, by the way. 24 episodes. But I'll continue watching it. I think as I learned to take it less seriously, it was just okay. I think another part of it is that I stopped listening to online discourse a lot more, like in the last 4 or 5 years. Part of what I dislike about Tensura is that I think it's very overrated. But if you don't pay attention to like discourse online, there's no such thing as overrated or underrated, really. So without focusing on how other people thought of it, just me and my opinions on it is fine. So that worked out in its favor for me. Stop focusing on overrated or underrated. It's appropriately rated by me. I have it at a 5. I think I have it a 5 out of 10. I think it's overrated. The other thing is, if we're gonna get to the bottom here, we're gonna see Tsukimichi. I think that Tsukimichi and Tensura are about equal in terms of quality. And I think that bothers me in terms of rating, which is why now that they're closer in rating, I don't have as much bad stuff to say about it. But we'll see how it goes in the last 12 episodes. I don't see it going way up or way down. It's just Tensura. To me, it doesn't have a high peak. Talk about overrated. A lot of people with Boku no Hero Academia. I stopped watching Hero Acad at around episode 70. It's too long, man. It's not bad. It's not good. It's okay. You can probably find about 100, 1,000 other people online talking about Hero Aka, either because they hate it or they love it. I'm not going to be one of those people. It's fine. there's not a whole lot to say about it, and whatever there is to say has already been said. So I'm gonna move on. Now, one that wasn't on my list that made it onto my list was Windbreaker. I did finish this. It was decent. I enjoyed it. I have to say, this is a good score. For me, 5 is a enjoyable show to me. And not to mention, I rate this show as a 5 despite really not enjoying fighting anime. So that's a pretty serious, a pretty nice review for me on Windbreaker. Windbreaker is like a fighting anime. Not really, it's like less about boxing and more about like gang fights, I guess. The whole premise is pretty interesting. And I do like the story, like the character development. I think it's really good. So for me to give a good score for me, a 5, maybe even a 6, but for now a 5, to a anime that I really have no strong attachment to like a subject that I have no strong attachment to, is a pretty good indicative rating of Windbreaker. So I highly recommend it, especially if you're into action and shonen and all that. And like fighting and sakuga. You'd really like this. I have no bad things to say about Windbreaker. It's just I wouldn't have anything good to I wouldn't have any strong feelings on it just because it's it's fighting, but it's good. So I enjoyed it. I recommend it. I'm trying to think. I should give comps to this. Like I've talked about how Konosuba, you know, I feel like I don't need to talk about comps to Konosuba because it's so ubiquitous. It's like just very well known. I feel like I don't need to get, well, I feel like Mushoku Tensei is just like one of those isekais where if you know it, you know it. Same with Tensor. Well, with Tensor, I did give a comp. I gave Tsukimichi. But if I were to give a comp to Windbreaker, let's see. Has a lot of good moments. The fighting is just really where I don't really lose it. It's just like I check out a bit. Almost like Hiroaka, but not quite. How do I feel about it? Somebody should help me with this. It's a good anime though. Here, can I see what my anime list thinks about comparisons? Tokyo Revengers supposedly. Bungo Stray Dogs? Yeah, I can see it. So, something like that. It's pretty unique. But yeah, definitely Bungo Stray Dogs is in that like fighting and has a lot of things going on behind the scenes. It's good. Would recommend Windbreaker. Especially if you're into action. So, this was kind of a surprise to me, to be honest. I wasn't really expecting it to be something I would watch, but I watched it pretty quickly. I didn't start it from the beginning of the season, so I think I like actually binged it after it finished, and it was good. Next on the list is Spice and Wolf. It says watching. I still need to catch up on Spice and Wolf. Not gonna lie, I know it's good. I should watch it. It's on my list. My goal will be to watch it before the next season ends because next season it'll be on the continuing anime. So I'll be fine as long as I finish it before the end of next season. So, but I mean, you probably don't need my opinion on Spice and Wolf. It's very famous, this anime, Spice and Wolf. This is the remake. I was looking forward to the remake. Not that I cared that much about Spice and Wolf the first time, but you know, I think remakes are good. Anime has evolved a lot in the past 20 years. You know, I would love, for example, a Clannad remake. I don't think they're gonna do it because Kyoto Animation has left nothing on the table. So, I wouldn't be expecting that, but there's plenty of things that I think could use a remake. What was the one that I was thinking of for sure? I was thinking about a remake for an old anime recently. What was it? Like 2008 anime. Not sure, but yeah. you know what Spice and Wolf's all about. I'm gonna try to watch it before next season, and then on my next anime review, there should be plenty of stuff to talk about. So, yay. Ooh. What does that mean? That, ooh. I don't know how to do it. But next up, we have the Misfit of Demon School Academy. I have a friend. He really likes this anime. I don't get it, man. To me, this anime is not just generic, but like cringe. And I'm not good with cringe. Like, I know that Data Live is cringe too, and I don't like Data Live, but I can understand the appeal cringe of Data Live more than I can understand the appeal cringe of Maogakuen no Futeki Gosha. I never understood this anime, man. But it's one of these classic fantasy reincarnated, you know, demon reincarnation. Maybe I'll watch it. I'm so surprised. Look how many people have watched it compared to the like ratings they give. This surprises the hell out of me. Like, why did so many people watch it? Like, it clearly wasn't good. Like, I don't want to shit talk it too much, but like, ugh. So, I stopped watching at season 2. Season 1 was bad. It reminded me a lot of Murabito A becomes some sort of person. Let me look it up. Murabito. 史上最強の大魔王村人 A に転生する。And that one's really bad too. So I'm surprised that people followed the series through 3 seasons when like the comp's not that good. But not to say that it's bad if you enjoy it. I'm just a little bit surprised, you know. I know my friend enjoys it, but even he'll be like, it's not good. My friend's pretty honest with me, so he'll say like, I don't know why I enjoy it or whatever. But I stopped watching this at season 1. I'm just not all that. I'm not all that convinced. So I'd like to move on to some that I actually did watch. These next 3 I definitely did watch. So you can expect me to give a real review of them. The first one is the 7th Prince Reborn, or Reborn as the 7th Prince to focus on magic or whatever. 転生したら第7王子だったので、気ままに魔術を極めて something. This one, I enjoyed. Not gonna lie. It's not good, so I'm gonna give it like a 4. But you have to remember, I don't think it's bad. I think that it's below average. I think this is like, appalling is fine here. Horrible's fine. I don't see 4 and 3 as very bad. I just think that like it's below average and a bit uninteresting. And at 4, the problem is this anime doesn't really do anything. It just exists. Which is fine. I watched it every week. There were parts that were enjoyable, but it just didn't impress me, so to speak. It just existed. But the character, well, you know, there were some characters that annoyed me, some that I liked. I actually read part of the manga, so I'm not like that surprised by anything that happened. If there was something that I was surprised by is the opening theme. I think the music's too loud. I'm gonna decrease it a little more. The opening theme was done by Niji Sanji's Higuchi Kaide, who I really like. And I thought Q Torosity or whatever the opening theme was really good. Curious by Higuchi Kaide. Kaide-ron. I thought that the song was really good. So what's my comp to this? There's a lot of comps to this. I'm surprised it got a 7.5. It kind of deserves it, to be honest. It's not super crazy, but it's all right. What's something I would compare it to, though? A bit... it's a bit Ascendance of a Bookwormy, but without... I think Ascendance of a Bookworm has a better story, because I think that it just cares more about the story. I feel like Dainana Oji is a little bit more focused on just being like slapstick, which is okay. This was totally reasonable. I gave it a 4 out of 10, but for me a 4 out of 10 was just like decent, little bit nothing burger for me, but good. The next one's going to be difficult to rank. I'm sure I've talked about this before, that I really like voice actresses. I really enjoy Kugumiya Rie heroines. The anime wasn't very good, but I did enjoy the heroine. I think on principle I have to give it a 3, but it was enjoyable week to week. It just wasn't like, I can't look back on this anime and say, man, this anime was so good. I can look back on the song and think, love song, love song. What was it? No, that was the ending. I don't know, but the opening song by Kugumiya Rie is very cool. The Danna-sama part. Anyway, I can't look back on this and be like, damn, that was a great anime. But if you're looking for something kind of generic, a bit, what's the anime called? A bit, How Not to Summon a Demon Lord, like, in that the anime really offers no literary value, but as like a weekly watch, it was okay. That's the problem. Like, I feel like there's a lot of anime that I can overlook having no literary value as being just slapstick, but it also wasn't like particularly good for that. It's okay. Enjoyable to watch every week, but I can definitely see myself scrolling Twitter or whatever instead while watching it, just to like to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. But yeah, if there's another season, I'll definitely watch it. So 3. Okay, once you're in 2 and 1 for me, I think you're a very bad anime. Like, I actually think was a mistake for me to watch it. At 3 and 4, I think that those are perfectly fine. Like, below average, I enjoyed watching it every week anime. So it might look bad, but a 3 out of 10 just means that I did not enjoy it as much as Dainana Oji, and I did not enjoy Dainana Oji as much as Tensura, and I did not enjoy Tensura as much as Mushoku Tensei. See, and that's 3, 4, 5, 6 in terms of rating. So it's just indicative of, I don't think that they can be grouped in the same boat. Like, I very clearly enjoyed Mushoku Tensei more than Tensura, and I very clearly enjoyed Tensura more than Dainana Oji. I very clearly enjoyed Dainana Oji more than level 2 Cheat. But anything I think above a 3 is watchable. Anything 2 or below, 2 or 1, I do think is like, it was a mistake for me to watch this. So I'll get to it. There's some that I mean, okay. Something I watched recently, one of the worst anime I've ever watched. Actually, can I talk about my grading scale for a second? 1s on my grading scale are reserved for truly horrific anime or anime that I feel wronged me. So I believe I have 3 1s in my grade, or 4 1s in my grade book, all time. The first one is Excel World. I thought that it was... I didn't just think that Excel World was really bad. I thought that they... Like, by the way, same author as Sword Art Online. I think that Excel World is worse than Sword Art Online. The main character aesthetically ruins the whole show for me. Not just because he's fat, but because he's drawn in a different way. And that bothered the hell out of me. And then also, it was painful to watch a character that pathetic with no sense of growth in terms of fighting back. Because normally if you have I don't mind a pathetic character that grows. You know, like, that is an important part of the story. But if you're going to be pathetic and then after 12 episodes continue to be unable to stand up for yourself, then I just kind of get pissed watching it. Maybe a bit of projection, I don't know. But one's actually offended me. Another one is, one of my least favorite anime of all time is Hanabado. It's a badminton anime. I don't think that it was a truly one of the worst anime I ever watched, but I ranked it as a 1 because I was offended at what transpired in the story. Like, what happened in the story felt like a betrayal of me as the viewer, and so kind of to stick it to the man, I give it a 1. Something in the story has to actively make me dislike it and not just be like, I didn't enjoy it or I thought it was bad. Conception, literally the worst anime I've ever watched, I think, was kind of insulting to me as a viewer. I thought that, like, I actually lost something in watching it. 2s are generally just like some of the anime I dislike the most, you know. There's some isekais that I just think are so boring and so, like, terrible that I rate it 2, but nothing in it offends me about it to the point where I'd give it a 1. 1's actively, like, pissed me off in some way. So that's how I rate it. The next one is not one that pissed me off. It's just another generic one. It's either a 4 or a 3. It's clearly not, to me, an average anime. It's a below average anime, but I didn't hate watching it every week. I watched it and I thought, ooh, that's cute. There were parts where I'm like, that's cool. But I had a hard time really giving it a good score. Like, to me, a 5 means that I enjoyed it. I thought it was, like, decent. I think 5s to me is, like, kind of, if you think about it this way, it's not this scaled, but, like, a 5 is the exact median anime you've ever watched should be a 5. And if you like anime and you've watched a lot of anime, then I think there's more good anime than bad anime. So in order to properly rate, like, the difference between, as I've talked about it before, a Mushoku Tensei and a Tensura, I think you have to use 5 and 6. So to me, if this is a 5 for me, Tensura or various others, then in order to, like, separate it from the 6s, you also need to separate the 5s from the 4s. So that's just why I can't give it a 5, so to speak. Because I don't think that there's a problem with having too many 7s, but I almost think that if you have a good 7 and a bad 7, so to speak, it's an insult to the good 7 to group it together, because you clearly enjoyed one more than the other. And from that perspective, a 4 is a totally respectable score. I enjoyed it. It gave me strong... Here, I'm going to look at what the recommendations Mal gives and see if I agree with them. Mal suggests that it is... I don't remember watching that one. One of these Akyaku Reijo ones. What would I compare it to? A bit... I don't know this one. Maybe even a bit 7th Loop from last season. A bit like this one. Although I think this anime is better. But kind of similar, you know. You have one person in power and they protect the other one. A little different. The other one's better, but this one was good. So where are we? Up. Totally respectable, 4 out of 10. We're looking at 3 that I didn't watch. This one I should add to my should watch list. Plan to watch. Okay. What is this one about? Let's see. Oh, it's a Yostar one with a decent score. Okay. Ah, this is Strike Witch's ass. You have the main character and a group of friends defending the world from evil. These tend to be kind of generic, not all that interesting, but okay. It would be worth watching at some point. I wouldn't be excited to watch it, I think, though. You know, it's fine. I can't talk too much about it because I haven't watched it, but I will, hopefully. We'll see. The next one's also, I'm surprised you have so many people watching a 6.59 out of 10. Action, adventure, fantasy. You probably won't catch me watching this one, especially by Studio Dean. They tend to be a little bit... Like, why didn't Studio Dean just continue adapting Konosuba? It was fine. But, you probably won't catch me watching this. Generic genres, generic, clearly not an above average anime. I don't have anything bad to say it because I haven't watched it. I also don't have anything good to say about it, so we're gonna move on. Mahouka Koko Season 3. Yeah, it's gonna be a below average. I mean, my problem with Mahouka Koko has since the first season been way too much dialogue. Way too much talking about stuff and the concepts being way too far over my head. I think a lot of maybe STEM majors and people who are smarter than me and more sciencey than me will really enjoy Mahouka Koko. I know I have a friend that really enjoys it. In the fact that, like, a lot of the concept, like, you have a badass main character and you have some concepts that are very, like, the world is very fleshed out. But to me, the world's just too hard to understand. And then you have a character who can do everything, but spends way too much time talking about it and not enough time doing stuff. And it just makes it too hard to follow. But it's still enjoyable. So I think that it's gone down a lot, but it's still okay. So I gave it a 4 out of 10 as per the other ones, which I thought were okay. Remember, 4 out of 10 just meant there's shows I like more than that. Ooh, we're going to go back up to the 5s. I think that this anime was very good. Not very good in terms of 8. But I thought this anime actually did mean something. So this anime, if you haven't watched it, because it's not one of the more popular anime, is an anime where you had an old couple with kids and grandkids and all that. And they eat a golden apple that turns them young. And I thought that this was gonna be like the anime Ice Guy and His Colleague. And I thought the Ice Guy anime was a little boring because you had the same gag happen 12 episodes in a row. But I was convinced by a friend that it's good, that it's actually good, and I watched more than 3 or 4 episodes and I decided this anime starts with a lot of the cliches, but it actually does say something very important about, like, growing old and spending time together, and like the strong connection between the two main characters was very special to me. I really enjoyed it, and for that reason I'll give it a 5 out of 10, which is an average anime is really good. I mean, you see me rating things that I somewhat enjoyed but just didn't feel like was a super good anime, me rating them at 4. So clearly I enjoyed this one a little more, but yeah. The next one, I have not watched Date A Live 5. From the first 2 seasons, 3 seasons I watched, I don't hate it as much as I used to. I just think it's cringe. You know, you have a little bit too much, like, cringe. You know, like, you look at the character and you, like, are embarrassed for them. And I hate the feeling of being embarrassed, and the secondhand embarrassment from Date A Live just is too strong for me. But, you know, if you're into cringe, or a little bit of embarrassment, it's fine. Unnamed Memory. This anime was so boring. I've watched the first 2 episodes. I got so bored of it. I couldn't sit through it. This is a fair rating for it. This is a fair number of people who watched it. And nah. We're gonna skip right past it. It was a bit like okay, what are other people comparing it to? They're comparing it to a bunch of stuff I haven't watched. Maybe this one's like Ice Guy. just in terms of like it's a chore to sit through. But yeah, I don't have a lot of good things to say about it, and I didn't watch enough to like fully dunk on it, so I'm just gonna skip right past it. Ooh, we have a couple in a row that I actually did watch. Tensei Kizoku. This one's tough because I enjoyed this anime a lot, but I don't think that I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot, but I didn't think it was a good anime. It's weird. To start out with, the opening theme song was by True. I love True, and I thought that this anime opening was excellent. The manga I've read before, I think that it's a really cool concept, and I think it's a really cool concept, and I think that the development of the characters is really good. But I think they make a lot of small mistakes that add up like 10,000 paper cuts, and it makes it hard to rate it anything better than like a 4 or 5 out of 10. I just don't think it's honest for me to rate it a 5 out of 10, because it'd be like saying that I might have enjoyed these two anime about the same, but I clearly thought that one was better than the other, and I have a hard time believing that this is a 5 out of 10. But it's really good. So basically, this guy gets a skill that he can analyze talent, human resources, and he uses it to employ an amazing team. I like anime where a character has a power to surround himself with good people. I don't know, it's just like goodwill of humans. I know that there's a manga. What is it called? It's like God, what is it called? I don't know what it's called, but basically this character and his friends form a guild, and he has no skills, but all his friends are like overpowered as fuck. And then they become the greatest guild because everyone in the group except him is like really overpowered. But a lot of the times when that happens, you get an anime where the hero is forced out of his party. To me, those are uber cliche. But in this one, people just assume that he's like the big boss. He is the boss of this OP group. So even though he's himself isn't strong, people just assume he is. And then a lot of silly hijinks where people think he's strong, but he's actually not occur. It's kind of similar with this. I actually really enjoy rather than the character being overpowered, because if a character's too strong, then it becomes just like, why doesn't he do everything himself? I think it's really cool when a group of people work together and form something bigger than themselves. So I really enjoyed this anime, even if it wasn't the greatest anime of all time. I give it a 4 just because I don't think it's as good as a 5, but I think it's a strong 4. Ooh. This next anime is one of my favorite new animes coming out this season, or that came out this season. Hibiki Euphonium Season 3, it's a carry-on. Mushoku Tensei Season 2, it's a carry-on. But this was my favorite new anime of the season. I'm giving it an 8. I love anime like this. From the onset, I knew it was an anime that was going to make me cry. I knew it was an anime that was going to make me feel things. I knew it was an anime that was going to, bring the best of, for, it was an insanely strong main cast, and it really brought out the best in all of them. So I think that all 4 characters were extremely well developed, and my favorite character, by the way, was Kiwi, the pink-haired girl. She's a VTuber. Goodbye, Sakai. I thought I just love that character. But I really think that they made all of, I've talked about this before. My favorite Japanese word is emoi. And just that just means emotional and deep. And I thought that this anime was super emoi. was super well developed. Every frame, every scene had meaning and connected to the main thing. I wish I could give it a 10 or a 9. I thought there were a few mistakes that just like it wasn't as polished as in one of my 9s or my 10s, but I love this anime. I'd almost compare it to Sakura-san no Pet no Kanajo, but it's a little different. Honestly, I would compare it to Girls Band Cry, which I just finished like about 5 minutes before the stream started. Very good. We'll get to that. But it's about music. I really love how all the characters came together, and just it's beautiful. Doga Kobo did a really good job with all the colors. Can't say enough good things about Yorukura. Also the opening I love. Irotori yori tori midori no me nando datte no anata de kimi Tokyo me rupu shison na iko o yabutta watashi wa uchu matte da 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 maite kumori zona kaburitsuki nomikomu nigai suppai shoppai igai ni amai no kamoshirenai na. I didn't use the tune, so I'm not gonna get sued or copyrighted because my singing's not good enough. But you can expect that when this karaoke comes out, I will be singing it. I love the opening. I love the songs. I've wanted to sing Saikyo God, but I'm not good enough at it, and it's really fast. But man, I love this anime. It's a music anime where the group comes together and they really... One thing I love about music anime is they're almost never... Music anime are almost never about just the music. Like an anime like K-On! Has a lot of character development. And I think that they do a really good job a lot of the times, as with Yorukura and Girls Band Cry. So, and Euphonium. So I have only good things to say about this. I wish I would give it a 9 or a 10, but I'm gonna give it an 8. I'm gonna be disciplined. You know, I've talked about how I try to be fair to anime. It's probably an 8. So, really good. Bartender was a remake of an old slice of life. I haven't watched it, so I don't plan to talk about it much, but my guess is if you liked Mushishi, it's the same type of thing. That's what I've heard. So I'm gonna move right on because I don't have anything else to say about this, and I could talk infinitely about Yorukura. I wish I could, but we're gonna go to Hananoi-kun to Koi no Yamai. This is tough because it's not good. It's not good, and I don't think it's well developed, and I don't think that it's I don't have a lot of... I know it's bad, I guess, but, and this is kind of a self-report on my end. Estela-san, konbanwa. I'm going through last season of anime. If you are a big anime watcher, then maybe you have watched some of these. I know like Kayla-san, for example, really likes Kimetsu no Yaiba. I haven't caught up with it since the end of season 1, so I can't talk about it much. But if I'm being honest, this is my excuse to update my anime list, which is why I do it every season. Because for a while, I was really lazy, and I didn't update my list, and I had to go back and figure out all the anime I watched to keep track of it. And I figured, I like anime, I like talking about anime, I'm gonna do it on stream, and people can ask me like what I thought about certain anime. I can ramble, you know, I can talk about what I liked, what I didn't like. So yeah, I'm just kind of going through them all, updating my anime list, because I'm gonna be leaving tomorrow. This is gonna be my last like upload of any kind until Monday of next week. Yeah, you should. I always will recommend it. But you know, I talked to Dave, and he said it's better to do it before I leave than have to worry about doing it on the way back. Also, if I were to do it next Wednesday, then update my anime list and stream it. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. If I were to, and you can, by the way, if you have questions or you have things you want me to recommend, then that is also not just allowed but encouraged. You know, I want to be helpful with recommendations. I don't promise anything, but it's easier. You know, I'm going to be going through what I'm going to be watching specifically, or what I have watched specifically, just as like kind of housekeeping. But there's other stuff that didn't come out this season or last season or next season that I can recommend. So if I can do that, then I'd love to be helpful. But yeah, I was talking about it with Dave, and he was like, it's better to get it out of the way. And also, if I don't, it occurred to me that like basically the next season will have already started before I did it, and I'd be behind. So I didn't want that to happen. But basically this anime is painful to me. Why? Because I know it's bad. I know that there's a lot of weird parts of the story. But I behave very similar to the main guy in that when I was in high school, when it came to like romance, I was like really heavy, I guess you would say. I still am. No, when it comes to like romance, I'm somebody who like doesn't understand basically like why you would cheat on somebody, or like why you would go into it and not make it your world. And I've been told by a lot of other people that like, why would you do that? Like, they're just people. Like, it's more of a concept of something in your life than something about your life. But because of that, I relate to the main character too much, and it occurred to me, if I relate to this main character, then there might be something wrong with me. But regardless, I give it a 3 out of 10 because I know it's not good, but there was that kind of element where I'm like, yeah. This is just a normal shoujo romance. There's nothing special about it. If you're into romances, like if you're a fan of some of the old ones, My Little Monster, or Alharu Ride, basically any of them, just a very generic shoujo romance where the main guy goes head over heels for the main girl. I like shoujo romances. I mean, I've talked about how my two favorite genres are like romance and drama. So I didn't hate it. It's just not all that convinced by it. Okay, we're gonna talk about the next one. The next one's a 3. It's generic. You don't need to watch this. I'm just gonna tell you right now, you don't need to watch this. Last season, there was an anime called, I'm sure I'll get recommended it. Last season, there was an anime called, here, I'm just gonna go back and find it. Was it last season? I think it was last season. Maybe it was 2 seasons ago. Where is it? You can tell this one. Toaru Osan no VR MMO Katsudoki. These are just generic, like, isekais in which the main character is overpowered and he just kind of runs around the world and beats stuff. I can't say I don't enjoy those anime, which is why I watch them, but you really don't need to. And even if you enjoyed this stuff, you probably have more you probably have less stuff that you've watched to this point that you don't need to watch this. You could just watch like Shangri-La Frontier or Bofuri. Both of those are kind of this type of anime but better. This type of anime shows up when you realize how easy it is to create your own isekai and you try to jump on the bandwagon. I'm giving it a 3 because I don't think it was as bad as a 2, but it wasn't good. Just hard to say. Yuzakura Sanchi no Daisakusen. I plan to watch I'm gonna add this to my plan to watch list. I wanted to watch it, but if you see this right here, it's only on Disney Plus, and I have Crunchyroll. So, you know, I went to my pirate sites to watch Yorukura, which is on High Dive, and I was also a pirate for Girls Man Cry, which is not available anywhere. But I really have to be given a strong recommendation by somebody in order to go that far. I have not gotten that far with Yozakura-san Chino Daisakusen. So I plan to watch this one. Yeah, isekais are repetitive a lot. To me, I used to really dislike isekais, not because I didn't like them. You know, the first anime I ever watched was ReZero, kind of. Like, one of the first anime I ever watched was ReZero. I watched No Game No Life really early, and I love both of those anime. The problem is just that I think people learned how easy it is to make an isekai and stopped innovating. And because of that, it became harder to sort through them all. It's one of those where one bad apple spoils the bunch, where you see 2 or 3 bad isekai just because it's easy, and you think all isekais are bad. You know, I think Tensor is overrated, but I enjoy it. Mushoku Tensei I actually just enjoy, but that's neither here nor there. So yeah, it's a problem. I wish that people just like committed from the beginning to being like polished all the way through, but that's just not gonna happen because it's not like easy. I'll admit it though, it's not unique to isekai. Like, it happens all the time. I'm like, literally the anime before I was talking about like just generic shoujo anime. I found Orange, the shoujo anime, same with Hananoi-kun to Koi no Yamai, as well as like just a lot of isekai or a lot of shoujo romances. A lot of them very cliche. The only difference is that it happened earlier. The shoujo boom happened earlier. I think a lot of them are very cliche, and it just appeals to different people. A lot of people will say, you know, they'll like all the generic shoujo romances, and they'll hate the isekais. And they're all repetitive. It's just when something catches on, you almost lose your... Just a little bit, you lose your need to innovate. And once you lose your need to innovate, you're almost punishing the people who want to innovate. Because you're gonna just keep them, you're gonna associate them together even if it's not fair. So it's just unlucky. That's why if you're someone like me and you have more time to sort through them all, and you also have just more spare time that you need to kill, it becomes okay to just burn it on, you know, generic isekais. But, you know, I'll be scrolling my phone or whatever just in like while doing it, or I'll be eating dinner or something, and it's almost like, I'll put it this way, anime I really enjoy, I sit down and I soak it all in, whether it's every week or all in one go with a binge. If I really love an anime, then I'll sit down and enjoy it. I will not distract myself with my phone. I will not, I'll dedicate 100% of my attention. But, you know, I'll be on my phone scrolling Twitter or whatever while watching New Gate. So, yeah. Next one, we have Yuru Camp. What did I give the other Yuru Camps? I enjoyed Yuru Camp. I always enjoy Yuru Camp, but did I really get... Ooh, it's a 7. It's a 7. I need to go back and change it. I really enjoy Yuru Camp. That's the tough part. I really like Yuru Camp. You know, I've bought stuff like goods, you know, artwork and stuff of Yuru Camp. But if I'm being honest, I think a lot of it was not carried by hype. I think that, yes, being immersed, exactly. But I don't think Guru Camp is as influential as when I first watched it. But it's still really good. I highly recommend it. I think it's just really hard to immerse yourself in a slice of life anime where like I like slice of life anime a lot, but I'll admit the third season of a slice of life anime gets repetitive. And it's not like I didn't enjoy watching it still. Like, it was still a good watch, but it wasn't as impactful because I'd kind of seen it already. Now, I'll still watch it. I'll still enjoy it. It's still a 7. Like, that's a very good score. Above average score. But I'm not as in love with it as, you know, the first season was like... It was like kind of the first of its... Well, not the first of its genre, but it was like... It broke the mold a little bit. It really, like, immersed us with its world. And, you know, going outside and stuff, touching grass. I think that since it's been a little bit more repetitive, so I have to bump it down to a 7. But I have to say it was really good. So know that that was it. It's a good 7. And I like 7. 7's insanely. I mean, I have Tensor as a 5. You know, 7's a really good score, but I just can't see it as enjoyable as when I first watched it. So. Highly recommend Guru Camp though, especially if you're an outdoorsy person or you like slice of life. Yeah. The next one is Sasayaku yo ni koi o uta. I definitely plan to watch this, but I haven't yet. It's on High Dive. It's not on Crunchyroll. If I want to pirate it, then I have to like really be ready to watch it. And because to me, Crunchyroll, I can just boot it up whenever. It actually takes me a little more effort. Yeah, especially if you like camping or you like being outdoors or whatnot. It's a really good slice of life anime. You know, I like slice of life. I will watch season 10 of this if I have to, but I'm not going to pretend that watching season 10 of this is going to be as impactful as when I first watched it. That'd just be a lie, you know? But this one's a girls' love one. I'm not, you know, I'm a straight guy, so it's easier for me to watch girls' love than boys' love. If this is anything, if this is even like a fraction of as good as Bloom Into You, then I'll be like gushing about it the next time on stream the stream after I watch it. But I haven't watched it yet, so I can't talk about it yet. And then we have this anime, which I've never watched either. So this, I mean, at 6.79, I'm not super encouraged to watch it. I can't talk about something I haven't watched. I don't plan to watch it, so you might have to watch this on your own if you plan to watch it. I'm gonna have to go... Another remake, huh? Black Butler? I've not watched Black Butler. I wish I could talk about it. I know that this is kind of like... I'm surprised it's demographic shonen. I heard that this one like really appealed to like young girls just because... or not just young girls, but girls. Just because like Sebastian and the other guy, the butlers, are like really hot. But I haven't watched it, so once again, I can't talk too much about Black Butler. This is a remake, though. If you're into hot guys, I think that the main characters are supposed to be those very prim and proper butlers. So, yeah. The next anime is Kami wa Game ni Ueteiru. I can't say it's good, but I can talk about this anime a lot, okay? I don't blame you. I knew a lot of people that watched it too. Can I please give it a 4? I'm gonna give it a 4. I don't care. Kami wa Game ni Ueteiru. Have you watched No Game No Life? It's not No Game No Life, but it's in the same genre I have it. It's this high stakes game and strategy game that really compares it to No Game No Life. No Game No Life is like the pinnacle of these game anime, but there's a lot of them that try to replicate it. It's Kami wa game ni iireteru, and then also Liar Liar. It's basically you have main characters that get thrown into a world where winning games equals prestige. You know, No Game No Life, it's winning games equals conquest, right? In Liar Liar, it was winning games equals student rank. In this one, it's like you can challenge the gods or something. I enjoy this kind of anime, which is why I watch it. But basically, when it comes to this genre, you have No Game No Life, and then you have everything else. Nothing has even gotten as close to No Game No Life as I'd like. The closest thing that I remembered in No Game No Life being like that is good is like an anime called what is it called? It's like I remember the theme song. Why can't I remember the name of it? Usagi? Something Usagi? No. God, what was it called? Maybe if I search up No Game No Life and look for a recommendation, it'll show up. It should. Oh yeah, Manaiji Tachi. It's an anime called Problem Children Are Coming from Another World. It's nowhere near as good as No Game No Life, but it is the same genre. Nothing has really gotten even close to as good as No Game No Life though, which is why I'm really disappointed we never got our second and third seasons. But this anime right here is a cheap knockoff of No Game No Life, and I will continue watching them until we get No Game No Life season 2. But basically, anytime I watch this type of anime, I'll be like, please, I want to be saved from this terrible, like the cheap knockoffs. I want the good one back. So if you really are desperate, then it's fine, but I wouldn't recommend it. You'll be disappointed it's not No Game No Life. So yeah, I gave it a 3. I gave it a 4 because I really like this type of anime, but I know it's not good, so I couldn't give it anything higher than a 4. Frankly, it should be a 3. Anyway, can I stop myself? Here's the thing. If you allow me to talk about... Well, you're saying this. I'm getting right into this. Hibiki Season 3. It's probably my 3rd favorite anime of all time. Sorry, not Season 3. Hibiki is probably my 3rd favorite anime franchise of all time. Maybe 4th or 5th, but it's definitely a top 5 all time for me. So when you talk about good animes almost never get new seasons. My first favorite anime of all time is Clan After Story. That is obviously a 2nd season. My 2nd favorite is Chaiafru. We're still waiting on season 4, but it got 3 seasons. Then in that mix of top 5, is Hibiki Euphonium, March comes in like a lion, and like Bakuman. All 3 of those have 2nd seasons. Now, if I can just talk about how much I love Hibiki Euphonium. I said that it might be my 3rd favorite anime of all time. I believe that this is one of the greatest anime of all time. I'm also going to say that the 3rd season, the first 2 seasons hit me in a way that I cannot fully express. I think season 3 left me a bit starstruck, but also with like the disappointment of it being over. Because season 3 fully wraps up the franchise. I think that a lot hit me with... I think that Hibiki Euphonium, between the franchise, my trust in the franchise and my trust in Kyoto Animation, I gave it a lot of goodwill. I think it deserves the goodwill, but I think I gave it a lot of goodwill. So a lot of the moments that really made me sad, I think is a testament to how strong it is. Whereas sometimes when I feel sad or disappointed, it's just as a viewer. I think I felt sad as like a member of the audience, if that makes sense. I really think that the anime made me feel certain ways rather than I felt just betrayed and because of that I'm sad. Do I wish certain things happened? I'll put it this way, right? Sometimes, and this might just be because I was like English major for a while, sometimes I'm disappointed with how an anime goes because I think it's written poorly. So an anime like Konosuba, which is really good, right? There are parts in it where I didn't like it because I thought that it didn't properly represent the characters. You know, I thought that Kazuma wasn't scummy enough. I thought that he wasn't selfish enough. I thought that he made a bad decision that he wouldn't normally make. And that makes me disappointed from like a writer's perspective because I thought that it was a miss in the writing department. I think that some anime, and this is where I'm talking about talking about Hibiki Euphonium 3, is I felt sad from like an audience member. It really like struck me to my core. And it was a buildup of all the things that happened in seasons 1 and 2, the journey that we made it this far, and then by the time it was over, I was a mess. I think I cried for like, I don't think that for, is a 23-minute finale, 13th episode? I think I cried throughout the episode, plus 10 minutes. Because a combination of the journey being over, the emotional hardship up to that point, it really brought me into its world. Do I wish that certain things ended up a certain way? Maybe. But by the end of it, I also couldn't say that it was the wrong decision. You know how, like, sometimes you want things to happen. Oh, I cannot say enough good things about Hibiki Euphonium. It is drama. You know, it's one of those where I can quote certain lines from it and just like really I fell in love with the series. You know, there's certain I can call back specific moments. I cannot say enough good things about Hibiki Euphonium 3. I feel like I'm not going to be able to say anything like super deep about it, and I can't stop gushing over it if I keep talking about it. But basically, it's about a high school band, and about the journey of the main character Omae Kumiko, as she, and her journey with concert band club. It's a true personal growth anime, and you say you like being immersed. I got super immersed. I love Hibiki Euphonium. It's one of my top 5 anime of all time. But something you'll notice about my top 5 anime of all time, I don't know the order, but in the list is Clannad After Story, Chihai Afuru, Hibiki Euphonium, March Comes in Like a Lion, and Bakuman. Notice with those 5, there's no I'm not gonna say there's no action. Chihai Afuru is like sports-ish, but they're all down to earth. They're all personal growth stories, and they're all immersive. Hibiki Euphonium fits that mold exactly. I cannot say enough good things about Hibiki Euphonium 3, but so I'll recommend it to anyone who will listen. But I also don't want to, like, you know, if you're not into drama or you know, character growth type stories and you're more of an action person, then you might enjoy Windbreaker more. Not to say Windbreaker doesn't have its moments. I actually think Windbreaker is really good, but it's emotional anime that really, to me, speak more to the soul than to the, like, they speak more to the heart than the eyes. You definitely have a stronger connection to it than just watching the things. And again, that's not to say like other anime don't have emotional moments. It's just really they're strong when it comes to developing characters and immersing you in their world. So also, if I'm gonna say this, Hibiki Euphonium is by Kyoto Animation. Kyoto Animation's my favorite studio ever. They did Clanad, but they also just have the most beautiful art. They did Violet Evergarden. So that's all you need to know about Kyoto Animation's animation. Kyoto Animation's also the one that was struck in the fire, or in the arson attack in 2019. And then it was COVID. So Hibiki Euphonium was delayed. This season was delayed 4 years. Maybe 3-ish years. But between those two really big disasters, Hibiki Euphonium 3 is the culmination of overcoming a lot for Kyoto Animation. And to me, it's just one of the greatest anime of all time. And I've actually was thinking about it between this season and last season. We got Hibiki in like the last 3 seasons, the last like year. Yeah, I mean, it's not Violet Evergarden in terms of like beauty, but it's the same polish, Kyoto Animation. Hibiki Euphonium, when I was talking Hibiki Euphonium 3, I was talking about how like polished it is, but yeah, they went through a lot. By the way, I think I'm on normal latency. I meant to change it to low latency, but I don't know how to do that now. I know how to do it normally. Can I go in here? No. Sorry. I'll update it by next time. But so it might take a little bit for your comments to come in because of that. But yeah, I could go on forever about Hibiki Euphonium 3. But I'll try not to. But if you're curious about it, it's about concert band and clubs. My best comp to it is Chiafaru, but you've probably watched Hibiki Euphonium before Chiafaru, so yeah. Highly recommend it. This is exactly my kind of anime. I think it's one of the greatest anime of all time. I don't expect you to think the same, but I don't think that you can watch it and think it's bad. At best, if you watch it and think it's not for you, that happens, but I don't think you can watch it and say it's bad. I truly don't believe it's possible. You know, an example is when I watched Gintama. I watched it and I thought it was good, you know. Even though it's, or like when I watched Hiroaka, I'll be like, yeah, it's overrated. It's not as good as people think. I don't all of a sudden rate it a 2 just because it's overrated. You know, I look at it and be like, it's overrated, and then I give it like a 5, and that's pretty good. So yeah, I don't think that, yeah. So yeah, about concert band anime, you know, a lot of competition there, a lot of like interpersonal drama. I'm gonna move on because I'm gonna talk about it forever. I can, you know, it's one of those anime where like I've thought about making anime like analysis videos. I mean, you know, I talk about anime, I like anime, and I like making YouTube stuff. So definitely, it's not a surprise probably that I've thought about like making anime analysis content. This is one of the top candidates. Like if I were to make anime analysis content, it would be on. That makes me very happy. Thank you. Don't blame me too much if it's not your thing, but I don't think that you can watch it and say that you dislike it. So yeah, I will go that far. But I can't guarantee anything when it comes to like what people like, you know. I think sometimes some people like things that I just cannot understand why they like it, and some people dislike things that I'll never get. But yeah, but it makes me happy that you'll watch it, so thank you. But yeah, I mean, back to what I was saying, I obviously have thought in the past of making like anime analysis content, and while I haven't gotten concrete stuff, I might at some point in the future make it. Hibiki Euphonium is one of like the top 5 that I would make videos on. My ordering is probably like Clannad. Well, probably not Clannad. I think there's enough said about Clannad already. But like Chihei Hafuru is on that list. March comes in like a lion. Hibiki Euphonium, and then Assassination Classroom or something. I think all 3 of those have insanely reviewable plots, I guess. But if I don't move on, I'll never finish this because I can gush about this forever. So I will be moving on. We ruined it. We went from fine but below average to literally the GOAT. Not literally the GOAT, but like the season. Oh, that's what I wanted to say. In the last 3 seasons, so like in the last year, we've gotten to Hibiki Euphonium, Apothecary Diaries, Jellyfish Don't Swim at Night, and Free Ren. That is an insane lineup. Like, there was a period where I thought that the anime we got were just okay, but that is a really good year of anime. So I'm hyped going into Anime Expo. It's gonna be a convention. There's gonna be some good stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna stop myself from literally spending two or 3 hours. You know, after this, I gotta go to sleep and rest for my trip. So I'm not gonna cut the stream short, but I'm not gonna talk for 3 hours because that would take me a little too late. Well, sorry. I'll go 2 or 3 hours. I'm not gonna go for 4 or 5 hours, spending just 3 hours on Hibiki Euphonium because then I'll never finish. But we went from really good to one of the worst anime I've ever watched. That's a little harsh, but this was certainly a bad anime. I gave some 3s earlier. No. This is on my list of bad anime. Yeah, I'll talk about Hibiki Euphonium more on stream, especially after you watch it. Oh, I should. Don't be surprised if I do on like... Okay, next week I probably won't play Mahjong. So I might do like a 10 p.m. Zatsudan on either Monday or Tuesday. Don't be surprised. That's a good idea. I'll do that. Talking about some of the stuff I saw. All that stuff. But yeah. After you watch Hibiki Euphonium, you know, if you talk about that on if you like come into a Wuthering Wave stream or something and say, I watched it, I thought this about it, you will not hear me shut up about it. So I'm never gonna turn down talking about Hibiki Euphonium, but be interesting after you watch it. I've been to other anime expos, so I'll probably also get to compare this year's anime expo to the previous ones. I'm looking forward to it. But first, I'm gonna focus tomorrow on like just enjoying my trip. But this one, really bad anime, terrible anime. It's one of these Fantasyland, like not isekai. He's not isekai, but it's like one of these fantasy anime that really make no sense. None of the characters make decisions that I think that fit what they believe in. I think all the characters, the writer clearly tried to give his characters like traits, like tics. Looking forward to talking about it. But back to this one that I don't like. Like, you know how like some characters have tics and sometimes they're good. Like I really like Hyoka, another Kyoto Animation one, where the main character's line is "Watashi ki ni narimasu," and it means something and it's not overdone. Sometimes authors like to give their characters little tics and like things to remember them by, and they try to do it for every character just so they're not forgotten. In this case, I found it super annoying. Every character has their little like speech click. That's not like a dialect or anything. It's just like they talk weird so that you remember them. It's something you might not notice if you're like not listening to the Japanese and you're just reading subtitles, but it was annoying as all hell. And none of the characters made decisions that I was like, that fits his character. It's just like they acted completely random. This is a truly awful anime. It's not conception bad, but clearly it's pretty close. So would not recommend this to anyone. There's a reason it has a 5.17 anime score. That's really bad. So yeah, I'm gonna just move on. There's no reason to watch this. Frankly, I don't know why I watched it, but Girls Band Cry. I finished this about 5 minutes before the stream started. It's really good. I think it's a little worse than Jellyfish Don't Swim at Night, but it's the same kind of quality and it's about the same kind of stuff. So I think they're very related. I think that yeah, it's really bad. This one's really bad. I think though that Jellyfish Don't Swim at Night is the better one of the two. I think people seem to think the opposite based on the score. But yeah. Another thing about this one is it's 3D animation. I think this is one of the best 3D anime ever made. The two best 3D anime I think I've ever seen is Girls Band Cry and Land of the Lustrous. Generally, 3D animation kind of has a stigma in the anime community. This one's really good. The animation's totally fine, and the story is excellent. So, highly recommend this anime if you're into the, like the music creating a band story. But I just really am into that, so I think it's a little unfair. You know, like, I'll say this. I think it's really good, but between Bocchi the Rock, Jellyfish Don't Swim at Night, and K-On!, Girls Band Cry is my least favorite of them. But I love all four of them, so that's not like a bad thing. Like, I still gave it a 7. I still liked it as much as some of the other ones, you know. It's a very good score, but I like the other ones more. That's just my preference. But they're all similar, and if you like one, you're gonna like them all, I think. So, I do recommend it. I just finished it earlier today. It's still fresh in my mind. I still really enjoyed it, but the other thing is that the ending, or like the payoff, wasn't as satisfying, where they like really came out of it with like a big win. It's just like, I almost like put myself in their shoes and felt a little disappointed. But not because the anime was bad, just because like the things didn't work out exactly for them. But yeah. I said I would watch this, huh? This is The Train to Nowhere or something. I haven't watched this yet. I probably will. This gives me strong Endro vibes. It's a group of 4 girls that kind of get together and do like batshit crazy stuff, but I haven't watched it yet, so I can't verify yes or no. So I plan to watch it at some point. Don't worry, and it's on Crunchyroll, so I'll probably watch it. I might even watch it like on my flight or something, but yeah, I can't watch it if I haven't. I can't review it if I haven't watched it. Next one. I didn't care for this anime that much. It was cute. This anime's a harem anime where the main character is a just normal guy, and harem, yeah. The main character is a normal guy, and he is invaded by an angel who comes to his apartment and sleeps on the veranda. And then he lives with her, and then he meets a bunch of other like supernatural beings, and it's a harem where all these supernatural beings fall in love with him. It's cute, but it was pretty, it wasn't good. Like, it was enjoyable in some regards, it's cringe in other regards, but I can't look back on it and be like, that's a good anime. I can think like, okay, that was somewhat enjoyable, but yeah. If I had to compare it to something, it's a normal harem. It's like one of the weaker harem anime. You know, like if you... My guess is it's something like Yuna-san. Yonagiso no Yuna-san. Like Yuna of the Hot Springs. My guess is it's like that. Or if you've watched what is it called? Invaders of the Rokujo. It's just generic. Yeah. Invaders of the Rokujoma. The problem is it's one of these where it's like a generic harem where there's 4 or 5 supernatural girls that fall in love with the main character. A little bit like Televeru, but like no ecchi. It's fine. It's just not gonna move any needles, you know? Either you like it or you don't. So I don't have that much to say about it. I thought it was I wasn't super impressed by it. But it wasn't bad. Blue Archive. I have not watched Blue Archive, but Dave really loves Blue Archive. I wish he was here to give the review, so to speak, but I've never watched it. I've never played Blue Archive, so I can't review it. Dave really likes Blue Archive. He's probably watching it, so maybe he'll talk about it on the next Mahjong Day. But my guess is it's like Azure Lane. If you played Azure Lane, you'll like the anime, but it's just kind of And same with Blue Archive. I haven't watched it, so I can't review it. This one I did not end up watching. This one's like viral hit or something. Apparently it's not bad. Same studio as this one. That's crazy. Okuru to Noboru. But yeah, I think this one's based on a manhwa. Yeah, Yu Hobin. Interesting concept, but I just don't think I'll watch it. So again, if I haven't watched it, I can't review it. The next one, Henjin no Salad Bowl. This is one where the main character, this is a reverse isekai. This is what it is. A character from an isekai comes to Japan and lives in Japan with superpowers and like their like abnormal way of life. Keiga-san, konbanwa. I'm just talking about anime, so going through this season, I still have this much left to go. But Henjin no Salad Bowl, if you watch Sasaki and Peeps, or in a way it's a bit like Devil's a Part-Timer. It's a reverse isekai, and that means that like you have people coming in from a anime top. Let's go. But you have people from an isekai coming to Japan and living, and then it's like they obviously have different traits that take over the world, so to speak, or take over the show. It's not bad. If I had to rate it, I'd be like 4. Did I give it a 5? To me, it's a little bit. It's a strong 4 or a light 5. What did I give Sasaki and Peeps? It's the same score as that. Oh, it's not that. Okay, if I give Sasaki and Peeps a 3, then this is a 4. It was fine. It was enjoyable. But, oh, the one that I always compare it to is Hinamatsuri. It's a comedy fantasy world where you have reverse isekai people. Yes, I leave for the convention tomorrow. So starting tomorrow, no shorts or any streams or anything. And then I'll be back on Monday with videos, but I'll probably... the first stream will probably be Tuesday-ish. And I'll probably talk about Anime Expo, so... And then I'm playing Wuthering Waves next Wednesday for sure. So in 8 days, not tomorrow. But, yeah. If you like weird comedies, Henjin no Salad Bowl, Hinamatsuri, and Sasaki and Peeps are all like similar. They feature that like weird person who goes to Japan rather than going a Japanese person going to a weird foreign isekai. Thank you. I'll definitely report back afterward. So yeah. It was enjoyable, this one, but it's just a comedy. It's like a slapstick a bit. So yeah. I do recommend it if you're big into comedy. The next one. This is one that I can't wholeheartedly recommend to other people, but I enjoyed it. So I can't give it worse than a 5, and I can't give it better than a 5. I do think it should be a 4. I don't think that this was the greatest anime of all time, but you know me and Seiyu and voice actresses. I liked the development of this, even though I thought that it was not the best anime of all time. But I enjoyed it because it's about Seiyus. I thought that the development of the characters was really good, but my guess is unless you've watched 600 anime like me, then there's no reason for you to watch it until after you've watched, say, Sore ga Seiyu, for example. I think you really have to like... I think you have to really like the voice actor industry in order to enjoy this one, which is why I can give it no better than a 5. Probably should be a 4. The next one, Shinigami Botchan to Kuromeido. This one is season 3, so I'm not caught up on it, so I can't talk about it too much. It's probably fine to get this many seasons with this strong rating. I'll watch it at some point, and I'll report back later. But I don't have that much to say. You'll probably know more about it from, you know. Oh, the other thing is it's a romantic subtext. I kind of wish they would just like lay it on a little bit more. It's like a lot. By the 3rd season, I'd want a little bit of development, but I haven't watched it, so I can't talk too much about it. The Fable, huh? Pretty good rating. I'm not familiar with this, so I can't talk about it, but I wasn't expecting a 7.34 rating with 25 episodes. That's kind of crazy. This one, I did not end up watching this one, so I'm gonna... I can't talk about this one much because I didn't watch it. This one, I planned to watch it and I didn't because it was not very good. This is one of these. Oh yeah, happy 4th of July because I'm gonna miss that for AX. But yeah. If you're optimistic about this anime, because again I haven't watched it, so I can't say for sure. If you're optimistic, then you're gonna say that it might be like Ouran High School Host Club. But this is not like, if it was like Ouran High School Host Club, then this would be a lot higher. My guess is that it's not polished and it's kind of weak. So I can't talk too much about it, but who knows. This is a BL one. I can't talk much about BL, so because I just don't know it. Then we have 3 more in a row that I didn't watch. I considered... Don't be surprised if I end up watching this at some point. Yeah. I mean, I think that fireworks are cool, but yeah, I just find them annoying at some rate. Ouran High School Host Club's good. I know it's shoujo, but I actually really enjoyed it. Kiss, kiss, fall in love, boo-doo, 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 boo-doo. So yeah. My guess is it's not that because it has a very low rating and Ouran High School Host Club has a very high rating, but I don't know if you're optimistic. It's kind of cross-dressing, you know. Love polygon stuff. Okay, this is a baseball anime. I watch a lot of these baseball animes. So don't be surprised if I end up watching this one too, but it's not the most, I mean, it's by Mappa, so I wouldn't be surprised, but I haven't watched it yet, so I can't review it yet. RIP. Maybe ask on stream if you plan to watch this, but I don't think that this is... By now, we're getting to kind of series that in about a year... There you go. I had a feeling Estella-san would have really liked Ouran High School Host Club. Kiss, kiss, fall in love, boo-doo, 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 boo-doo. Do-do, do-do, do-do-do-do-do-do-do, do-do, 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 do-do. There we go. Maybe I'll do that. There's gotta be a karaoke for Kiss Kiss Fall in Love. I'll do it at some point. By the way, we're getting into the stage where these anime are gonna be like, even if you've watched it and you liked them, in a year from now, no one's gonna be talking about them. Actually, in a like 6 months from now, no one's gonna be talking about it. So this is just like very unpopular anime, but this is where you find some diamonds in the rough. So don't be surprised if this is good, or this is good, or this is good. No, this is probably not that good. Unfortunately, I don't think I can talk much about these next ones. We're getting into, yeah, really. I remember it ended with them like riding motorcycles or something onto a bridge, right? I don't remember. It's been a while since I watched it. But Unfortunately, from here on out, I have not watched any of these. And a lot of them are like just small stuff, like kids shows and stuff. So if I had to guess, of the remaining ones, this one and this one have the highest potential, but I don't think any of the rest of them are going to be good, and I don't plan on watching them at any moment. So I'm going to go straight to the continuing series. I haven't watched One Piece, I haven't watched Conan, so we're going to go straight to, well, Dungeon Meshi is one that I plan to watch, but Netflix, yay! I don't have Netflix, so I'd have to pirate it or borrow somebody's account because it's not on Crunchyroll. So I can't talk about it. But the only one I did watch is, I think, yeah, the only one I did watch is Tsukimichi. And I have to say this. We were talking earlier about like bad isekais. I think that Tsukimichi is about as good as Tensura. The ratings don't show it, because the ratings say that this is a 7.82, which is good, but they show that Tensura, the weakest season of Tensura, is a 7.9, and it sometimes gets as high as 8.4. I think that Tensura is actually worse than Tsukimichi. So that's my unpopular opinion. Unfortunately, though, I can't really talk about any of the other anime because I didn't watch them, and some of these just nobody watches. You can kind of tell, like, these are just kind of here because they exist and not because people are watching them. So I'm gonna just kind of skip over these. If I had to make a guess on it, though, this is the one that has the highest chance of being good, or this one. But I haven't watched it, so I can't review it. But yeah, Tsukimichi is a pretty good isekai. It's a bit generic, but it's the same as Tensura or whatever. You know, the main character meets some fun other characters that help him build a city and all that. I can't compare it much to anything other than other isekais, you know. If you like Tsukimichi, you'll like Tensura. You'll like reincarnated as spider or whatever. If you don't like isekais, you won't like Tsukimichi. So yeah. But I've kind of gone through all the anime I watched. I actually watched more than I thought, so that's cool. Let's do like a count. We watched 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 22-ish anime this season. That's a pretty good clip. I generally try to watch over 10, so that's double what I try to. And I'll take that. That means that I had a pretty good collection of shows that got uploaded, and pretty good peaks too. You know, you don't always get Hibiki Euphonium Season 3 in the mix, you know? Honestly, if this is the only thing that came out this season, I would still consider it a victory. This has been a really good stretch of 2 or 3 seasons in a row where we had really good anime. So, is 21 a lot to you? A lot of series to be watching? I gotta say, a lot of it is they're making more series that are at least watchable. Like, even... Okay, this one was actually bad, but even a show like The New Gate, I didn't think it was good, but it was watchable. So, like, I can't complain too much if you're giving me a lot of those to, you know, fill my time. It's not gonna be the best ever, but it's okay. But yeah, I mean, any season with Hibiki Euphonium 3 is gonna be good. The fact that we got this sequel plus Frieren and Bokuyaba and Apothecary Diaries so close together is really a blessing. And I'm really... There was a time when I was elitist and kind of like gatekeeping when it comes to anime. I have to say that anime is growing in a really good direction. Obviously, you have your Demon Slayers. I know, Kayla, you would really like that. But I also really mean there's a lot for everyone, and there's a good amount of it. So, yeah. Very satisfied with this past season. But I'm going to be going through the next season and then also fielding questions if you wanted recommendations and all that. But let me go through this next season first, okay? And then how many am I thinking about watching? And then we'll go, and then at the end of this season, then we'll do it all over again. Because this is kind of a 4 times a year type thing where I'm going to be reviewing all the anime I've watched every season, right? And there's 4 seasons in a year. So we're going to go through it. Oshinoko. I will be watching Oshinoko. Oshinoko is very good manga by the author of Kaguya-sama, and I would 100 days out of 100 take Oshinoko over Kaguya-sama. Despite my Mahjong Soul character. Yeah, I guess if you've only watched one this year, watching 20 a season there's 4 seasons in a year, so watching 20 anime per season is like 80 anime in a year. That's a lot, I guess. It's okay. Watch at your own pace. I'm envious of you because you can still enjoy a lot of these anime for the first time, which is a blessing, you know. But yeah, I'll take Oshinoko over Kaguya-sama 100 days out of 100. I really like Oshinoko. This one's going to be really good. I've read the mangas up to a certain point. Oshinoko has the Tokyo Blade arc. And if you don't understand what that means, that's okay. You can either wait for the anime to fully come out or you can read the manga. But just know the Tokyo Blade arc is the one that I like the most. And my favorite character is featured the most on it. So I will be watching this. And I will be expecting good things from it. So, yeah. If you're curious about what to expect, watch the first season. Just watch all the hype around the first season. Had one of the best first episodes of all time. Caveat, it was an hour-and-a-half long first episode. Has one of the best plot points in anime and manga when it comes to like the story depth. It's really, really good. Next, Kami no To. I remember when the first season of this came out, and there's one character that really ruins it. Really makes it hard to watch because that one character is such a bitch. She is such a bad... Okay, her character... I don't know, like, as a writing character, but, like, her character makes the blood boil so much that it's, like, hard to watch. Now, in a way, that means that it was pretty well connected, like, a pretty good anime because it made you feel a certain way about it. On the other hand, that one character was, like, gosh, hard to sit through. Now... I watched the first season, so I might just watch the second season just to be a completionist. But I wouldn't expect good things from it. I'd be okay, you know. It'll just exist, you know. Probably a 4 out of 10, if I'm being honest. So, not too much more to say. The next one is what is it called? What's the English title? Alia-san hides her feelings in Russian. So you have a half Russian, half Japanese student that you know, will speak in Russian, and she will probably fall in love with the male lead. Now, if you want to know the cool thing about this anime, and I will be watching it, so just so you know, I will be watching it. The main character is voiced by Uesaka Sumire. So Uesaka Sumire voices the half Russian, half Japanese girl. Now, if you're wondering why this is important, Uesaka Sumire, and again, I know a lot about Seiyu, right? So this is a fun fact. Uesaka Sumire is well known in the Seiyu community as being really interested in Russian. She can speak Russian. She knows about Russian military and tanks and stuff. And in Girls on Panzer, which is about tanks, she like sings in Russian. The fact that they got her to do Alia-san is really cool. So I will be watching it regardless, but you know, if you like cool, fun facts like that, you'll like it even more. Next, I have not watched Fairy Tail. So if you like Fairy Tail, go ahead. If you don't, then not much to say about it. The voice actor of Urza Scarlet, I think, or one of them, is going to be at AX, but I just haven't watched. Yeah, I know, right? Not for this role, by the way. Uesaka Sumire already knows Russian. She just studied it in college or something and just really liked it. But it's really cool that she's also voicing the character in the anime that is Russian. So I just like that. But for Fairy Tail, the one of the voice actors for like Urza Scarlet or something is gonna be at AX, but I just haven't watched Fairy Tail, so I can't get into it. Unfortunate. Then we have the Isekai Suicide Squad. I'm not into this, you know. Maybe, you know, if you like these crossovers, then go for it. I'm not going to be watching it, so I can't speak too much about it. My guess is it's going to end up something like a Suicide Squad version of Isekai Quartet. I don't know, man. Just good luck. Next, Gimai Seikatsu. I read a little bit of the manga. I will be watching this. My guess is it's going to end up something like the Mamahaha ex-girlfriend is my stepsister anime. It's a light novel adaptation. It's a romance light novel adaptation. I recall really liking the manga parts that I read, but I haven't gotten too far, so we'll see how it develops. I am looking forward to Gimai Seikatsu. After that, second season of Kimi to Boku no Saigo no Senjo, aruiwa Sekai ga Hajimaru Seisen. This is a very weird, convoluted, post-apocalyptic anime. I did watch the first season. I will be watching the second season. I will not be recommending the second season or the first season. It's a lot to take in. A lot of crazy stuff happens, and there's a lot of stuff I would recommend first. But if you really still are curious, then you can do your own research on that one. I will be watching it. It's a bit, you know, so just another post-apocalyptic. It's a little bit like Qualidia Code. They're all kind of bad because they tend to focus too much on the end of the world stuff, and that kind of convolutes the whole plot. So, next. Shika noko 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 koshi tan tan. Shika noko 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 koshi tan tan. Shika noko 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 koshi tan tan. This is the deer anime. This is the deer anime that has the meme of her doing that. No. Chika noko 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 koshi tan tan. I'm sure you've seen the memes. But I guess another fun fact about this is if you know Hololive, if you know Amane Kanata, Oshio Mama, the character designer for Kanata, for Amane Kanata, is also the character designer for Shika noko 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 koshi tan tan. This is a full-on balls-to-the-walls comedy. Like, crazy stuff happens, and you're just gonna be like, looking at it. You're just gonna be witnessing the, like, okay, witnessing a train crash feels like it's gonna end up as a train crash. That's what I mean. It's like witnessing a clusterfuck. Oh, are you talking about Shika noko 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 koshi tan tan? And yes, I did spend actual time making sure I can pronounce it right. Not because of this stream, but because my friend showed it to me and he's like, look at this video. Shika noko 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 koshi tan tan. Shika noko 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 koshi tan tan. So yeah. I will be watching it. I don't know if I will be enjoying it, but we'll see. We'll have to see in 3 months at the start of the next season. We'll see how that goes. I hope this is good. You know. My guess is if it can end up something like Arakawa Under the Bridge, then I think that's a success. Not talked about all the time, but the spawn point of a lot of memes and like on drugs crazy is how I can describe it. If we can get to that point, then I think it's a success. The next anime is Nier Automata. I haven't watched Nier Automata. I've never played Nier Automata. My brother has, but I can't talk about it. I will not be watching it. Next, Isekai Shikaku. Okay, I probably will be watching it. It will probably be boring. Based on the name Isekai Shikaku, it's probably going to be another Isekai parody, just like they go to an isekai and then they try to subvert some expectations. It's not that groundbreaking, so I'm not going to go too in detail, but hey, maybe it surprises me and ends up more like Eminence in the Shadow. I'm not even that high on Eminence in the Shadow, but that's okay. Next, Kichi Harem. This is going to be... It's not a harem, just so you know. Kichi Harem is 2 acting students the girl is in love with the guy, and the guy wants a harem. So the girl uses her acting skills to be his harem in one person, so to speak. She basically grants him his dreams because she's in love with him. I think it can be cute. It might also get repetitive. I hope it's good. I'm not expecting much, but if it's good, then that's cool. The next one is Maogun Saikyo no Majutsushi wa Ningen datta. Very basic. There's gonna be a Demon King army, and the general is gonna be human because if I remember correctly, I read a little bit about the manga. It's like he had to hide his identity for survival. There's a lot of these type. It's a bit like the Seventh Prince one I was talking about from last time. It's probably going to be generic. My guess is I'm going to be rating it 3 or 4 out of 10 depending on how it's adapted. It's not going to be the best thing. It's not going to be terrible for my guess. Next, 2.5 dimensional seduction. I will be watching it. I remember reading parts of it. This, I believe, is a harem. Yeah, it's a harem. Where the main character... My guess is that if it's good, it's going to end up like How to Raise a Boring Girlfriend. If it's bad, it'll end up like anime gataris. Oh, are you talking about Kiji Harem that you want to watch? This one? It sounds cute. I hope it's good. I don't know if it'll be good though. I'll be optimistic. I'll watch it, but yeah. So 2.5 dimension seduction. If it's good, it'll end up like How to Raise a Boring Girlfriend, which is okay, not bad. It's fun, but a little bit weird. If it's bad, it'll just end up like a bad, ecchi harem that you kind of question the character's reasoning skills, but I'll be watching it. I'll be hopeful. Who knows? The next one, Megumi no Cafe Terrace. This is a really... I read the manga for this. It's a really good... I don't have any cosplay in mind because I don't have luggage space because I don't have a luggage. So, we'll see. Well, I'm not going to be cosplaying tomorrow, I guess I should say. But we'll see in the future if I end up cosplaying. Then maybe I'll post it to my social media or something. But it won't be this convention. It'll be the next one, if anything. Anyway, Megami no Cafe Terrace it's one of these weird ones where I plan to watch it, but I haven't watched the first season, but I've read the manga and I know it's good. So at some point I will be watching it. Right now I can't say that I will because I haven't watched the first season, so how can I know the second season? Let's see, Shoshimin series. What is this about? Interesting. I don't know anything about this. But it looks interesting, looks school related. Why don't we add that? If it's no good, it's no good, but we'll at least take a look at it. Who knows? Atri. This looks a bit like Aria, but it's not. It's like an Aria combined with a Nagi no Asukara. I'll add it to my list. I don't know if I'll watch it, but it seems interesting. I started watching Aria, but I haven't finished it, so I can't judge based on it. Anyway, this next one, what is this? Tsue to Tsurugi no Historia. I'm not gonna lie, I might judge this based on how it looks. This looks ugly. Maybe I'll see a clip of it and I'll learn that it's not so ugly and then I'll watch it, but for now, the art looks not good, so I won't be watching it. Or at least the art looks a little old, so I won't be watching it immediately. If I see something, then maybe I will. Senpai wa otoko no ko. Normally I'm not good with like the cross-dressing anime, but I probably will be giving this one a shot. I do like the romance. What I've seen of it looks interesting from a certain perspective, and it's not like I don't have anything against cross-dressing. I'll probably at least give it a shot. But I wouldn't be surprised if I end up dropping it, so don't be surprised. なぜ僕の世界を誰も覚えてないんですか? I will be watching it. I'm not expecting big things. I'm expecting generic isekai from this and from this next one. Both these look like very generic isekais that I will be watching. I will be happily surprised if they subvert my expectations. Next, Maki Heroine ga oosugiru. This is probably gonna end up, if I had to guess, based on the name of it, I will be watching it. My guess is that this is gonna end up a lot like the anime Osana Nanjimi ga Zettai Makenai Robocome. There's an anime called the childhood friend character definitely can't lose. My guess is that this is gonna be almost exactly like this. Now, I hope Toyama now is voicing in this. Is she? She is not. There's a joke that the voice actress Toyama now never gets to voice a winning heroine. So, an anime called Only Losing Heroines feels very appropriate for her, but it's not. Next one, what is this? Katsute mahou shoujo to aku wa tektai shite ita. This is a mahou shoujo anime. I'll tentatively add it to my list, but I have no strong opinions or dissents against magical girl anime, so I will be kind of tentatively adding it. The next one, My Wife Doesn't Have Emotions. I considered watching it, but I think I'd be pissed off, so I'm just not gonna... I might, if I get bored, watch it, but I don't have plans to watch it immediately. Next, Shinmai Osan Bokensha. This is a generic adventure anime. There's a bunch like it. There's the Undead Adventurer recently. That was like 2 seasons ago. There was the 30-year-old adventure with a daughter. That one was like 3 seasons ago. So yeah, my guess is it's gonna be generic. I will be watching it. I clearly don't have anything against generic anime because I have a lot of time to watch generic anime. The next one, Koi wa Futago de Warikirenai. I saw the trailer for this one and I was super excited for this one. I have to admit, this is probably like the manga. If I had to guess, it's like the manga. Well, it's a bit like people are saying that it's Futaribun no no Hanayome. Like it's gonna be like quintessential quintuplets. Yeah, I've heard people calling this twinsential twintuplets, but I think this is actually gonna be good. It gives me strong I forgot what the manga was, but it was one of my favorite manga for a while. It's like 2 sisters that fall in love with the same character. I'm a sucker for that kind of drama romance. Straight up, I'm a sucker for that kind of drama romance. So expect me to really enjoy quintessential twintuplets. Did I add it? I did. Okay. This next one looks ugly again. I'm not gonna lie. I don't plan to watch Nigejozu no Wakagimi, but maybe I will. Like Cloverworks. Maybe it's not ugly. Looks ugly from this picture, but adventure comedy is also like not super enticing to me, so maybe not. The next one. Ore wa subete o pari suru. I will parry everything. This looks like another generic adventuring anime. If you've watched Eiyu bu Kiwamete, Eiyu... What is it called? Eiyu wo bu o kiwamete tame tensei suru. So you were reincarnated as a daughter with skills. Okay. So yeah. This is going to be another generic adventuring one. I will watch it. I will be giving it a 3 or 4 at the end of the season. Probably. I don't know if this one is Stepbrother. Are you talking about this one? No. I don't know about Stepbrother. I'm pretty sure that this is one where 2 blood-related sisters, this Koi wa Futago de Warikirenai, I'm pretty sure this is where 2 blood-related sisters fall in love with their next-door neighbor guy. When at some point in their growing up, the guy dates one of the sisters. And then they break up. And then the other girl, or the other sister, hearing this, considers going out with him, and that's complicated love triangle stuff. I'm a sucker for this kind of thing. So I'm going to be really looking forward to this one. Next. 窓口ダリアはうつむかない. This is probably going to end up like, I probably will be watching it. It's probably going to end up a bit like, yeah, the drama in this one's going to be super spicy. I think. But this one's probably going to end up, this Madogushi, this like a seller of weapons or whatever. It's probably going to end up like, I retired. What is it called? I was forced out of the hero party. Something like that. Forced. I don't remember. It's like something like forced out of the hero party and became a pharmacist in another world or something. It's gonna be generic. They're gonna open a shop. Okay, I can already tell the plot. They're going to be working in a bad... They're gonna be reborn into another world, and then they're gonna have skills. Alrighty. I'll be waiting for you to watch Hibiki Euphonio, and then I can recommend you more stuff. Thank you. But this one I can already see happening. This person's gonna get reborn, and then they're gonna have a skill that allows them to craft potions and stuff, and then they're gonna sell their potions in the boondocks of this new world. So I will be watching it. I won't expect it to be like super transformative. It'll probably get a 3 or 4. Next one, Boys Love. Sorry, can't review this because I don't plan on watching it. I'm not good with Boys Love. This next one kind of gives Promised Neverland vibes, but like not good. Maybe we'll be convinced otherwise next, but I won't be watching it, so good luck if you do. Next one, Bye Bye Earth. That looks interesting, I guess. It looks generic. I mean, there's a reason there's so many generic isekais. It's because there's a lot of them that need to be adapted, and they're surefire wins. So I will be watching Bye Bye Earth, and I might be dropping it at some point. It just looks generic. Isekai Yurudi Kiko. And this is a fantasy slice of life. It's gonna be the same as this one. They're gonna be reborn in another world, and then they're gonna use their powers of some kind to live peacefully in the other world. Alright, next is El-san wa Yaserarenai. This is a ecchi comedy about an elf that I'm not gonna be watching. Looks, to be honest, kind of bad. Ooh, VTuber. Okay, it would be dishonest for me not to put this on my list. This is VTuber nanda ga haishin kiri wasureta ra densetsu ni natte ta. So she accidentally left her live stream on, and then she became a hit VTuber. Maybe I can learn something from this. Who knows? But I will be watching this VTuber anime. Mobu kara hajimaru tansaku eiyutan. Another generic isekai. Very cool. It will be added to my list. Shy. Huh. What is Shy? I don't plan on watching it, so... Maybe if I watch Shy Season 1, I'll watch Shy Season 2. この世界は不完全すぎる. This isekai, or this world, is not complete. Looks a little bit too slapsticky. I might end up watching it, but I won't add it to my list as of right now. Nanare Hana Nare. You know, I can see this one actually being decent. It's a PA Works original. We haven't had a PA Works original in a long time. Generally, PA Works is one of my favorite studios, so like not close to Kyoto Animation, but they've done some good stuff. PA Works did Angel Beats, and it also did some other... I think they did Nagi no Asukara. So they have some really good art. They have some good direction. I trust PA Works with this original work. I will be looking forward to Nanare Hana Nare. Dungeon no naka no hito. Someone in the dungeon. That that looks interesting enough. I can also see it being boring, but I'll at least tentatively add it to my list. If I don't end up watching, then I won't be like too bent out of shape either. So yeah. Do I want to trust a... PA Works has 2 original anime this season. Wow. I guess I'll add it to my list tentatively, but I'm definitely looking more toward Nanare Hana Nare than I am Mayonaka no Punch. But we'll see. Sengoku Yoko. I didn't watch season 1, so I can't talk about season 2 yet, but maybe at some point I do. Tasuketsu. What is this about? A suspense? High stakes game. Why not? I'll add it to my list, but I wouldn't be surprised if I don't end up watching it. It looks a little bit unpolished. I'm not sure what this one is. I'm not sure what this one is. Probably this one looks a little bit Call the Police, to be honest. But if it's more like Fluffy Paradise, then maybe it could be good. Actually, if it's like Fluffy Paradise, I'm gonna give it a shot. But I really mean I'll give it a shot. I don't... like, this looks sus from the beginning, so... Oh wait, no, this is 5-minute episodes? I take it back. I don't like 5-minute episode ones. So I'm not going to be watching this, or this. We're getting kind of into the weeds here, where I don't plan on watching all of these. They look a little bit unpolished here. Yeah, we're at the end where it's kind of all the smaller ones. I don't plan to watch any of these, but by next season, if one of them catches fire, I will definitely be talking about it. Otherwise, it'll be like the bottom of the other ones where, unfortunately, just not enough to talk about. So I'm not going to be talking about it. But we also have these continuing anime, but I already talked about them in the last one, so we'll not be talking about them in this one, or for now, because I already talked about it like an hour ago. We'll see how it goes. But yeah. Wait, why is this one continuing? Whatever. Do we have any movies to watch? Oh! ONA! All 3 or both of these are going to be good. Kimi no Todoke Season 3 and Monogatari series both have a lot of promise. Or not promise, but these are big series that are getting another expansion. So very fun to look at these 2. Keep on your radar. Actually, I'm going to add this to my list right now. Definitely keep these 2 on your radar. But other than that, movies? Mononoke, another Mononoke movie? And another Hiroaka movie? Okay. This one looks interesting. Kimi no Ito. Definitely looking forward to Science Saru there. Love Live Niji. And then... nothing much. Okay. Well, that was my review of this season. We went good in time. Unfortunately, I can't talk much about these because... you know, they haven't come out yet. But we'll see how many of these... in 3 months, we'll see how many of these I watched. Let's see if anything is added to the list. But I'm looking forward to next season. We have a lot of good promise. Maybe not... we don't have the promise that we had last season with Hibiki Euphonium and Mushoku Tensei. But we have a lot of stuff to look forward to with Oshinoko and... with Oshinoko and Shikanoko Noko Noko Koshtantan and... we have some good stuff coming, so it'll be interesting how it pans out, but in 3 months we'll reconvene and see how it went. I'm glad I got to talk about this season because there was a lot of stuff to go. Maybe not all of it was top tier. We got some 4s, 3s, and 4s, but our high-end talent was highlighted by Yoru no Kurage wa Oyogenai, by Jellyfish Can't Swim at Night, and by Hibiki Euphonium 3. So definitely not a bad season of anime at all. We've been kind of spoiled between Hibiki Euphonium Season 3 and Frieren and Apothecary Diaries, so I am excited for how anime is progressing. It's really been cool to see a lot more stuff and a lot better stuff come out in the last 2 or 3 years. Especially in this last year has been really, really good. I think a lot of it too is we're coming out of COVID. A lot of projects that were put on hold are starting to come out of the woodwork, and that is a good sign for us anime fans. A lot of stuff that you can watch out there now, and a lot of stuff to look forward to. But I've kind of said my share on all of it. You know, if I were to crown the anime this season, it would be Hibikophonia. If I were to crown the new anime this season, it'd be Yoru no Kurage wa Oyogenai, because this is obviously a season 3. So if you want like a brand new anime, then I'm a big fan of Jellyfish Don't Swim at Night. And then if you're prospecting for next season, obviously Oshinoko season 2 is the one to look out for. But I am also really interested in seeing how this one is probably the one that I'm looking forward to amongst the most, along with obviously Aliyah-san. But that's for the next 3 months to play out, so we're gonna see how that goes. But for today, I'm glad I got to discuss all of these anime topics. It's always fun for me to discuss. I know that my channel might not be an anime channel, but it's not a surprise that I really like anime, and I've always wanted to be able to talk about it, so I appreciate everyone watching my streams, even if it's only once every 3 months for the season, being able to talk about it and figure out what I will be watching next. But with that said, today's seasonal anime review is fully ended. I was pretty comprehensive about all the stuff I've watched and plan to watch, so I will be looking forward to the next one in 3 months when we get to see how summer 2024 pans out. But on that note, I will be ending the stream. If ever you need any recommendations, feel free to hop into one of my normal streams, you know, whether I'm playing Mahjong or Wuthering Waves, and say, hey, I really liked X anime. If you've watched it, what would you recommend? Why? And I will be happy to talk about that on stream as well in that time. But in terms of today's full-on anime review, I am fully done talking about this season's anime, so yeah, thank you for always tuning in, and thank you for tuning in today. I will end the stream for today, and then come back next week to talk about what happened at Anime Expo. As you know, I'm talking about anime today, and everyone is kind enough to check it out. It'll be interesting to see what observations or stories I have from Anime Expo in a week. But thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for being patient with me over the next week, as I will miss some videos. And I will see you again. Well, I will start posting videos again Monday, but I will see you all on stream again, maybe Monday or Tuesday, for a AX review talk stream, and then probably return to Wuthering Waves on Wednesday when I will be taking on the new patch. But for today, I will be ending this stream. I got some stuff to take care of before I fly out tomorrow, so I will be ending the stream here. But thank you all for watching my anime stuff. I really appreciate it. At some point, I'd like to get to more anime stuff other than this stream, but for now, it always is a lot of fun to talk about anime on stream, so that's why I do this today. でも、というわけで配信終わりたいと思います。今日は3ヶ月ぶりのアニメ雑談をして、季節が変わり、新しいアニメの季節が来ましたので、いつも見てくれてありがとうございました。いつか普通のアニメ動画を作りたいんですけど、今はこれしかないから、めっちゃ楽しみにしてましたし、今日楽しんでおりました。でも、明日はイベントがあるので、今日のところで配信終わりたいと思います。本当に見てくれてありがとうございました。いつか、普通のアニメ動画を作りたいけど、今日は終わりたいと思います。それでは、終わりたいと思います。じゃあねー。